What's up, guys, and welcome to the third video inside week number 1, assessing skills and interests. Here's what we're going to cover in today's video. So first, we're going to do an intro to the skills and interests assessment. This is going to be a really fun little video because we're going to have a bunch of exercises that we're going to implement in order to actually do this. We're then going to inventory your skills, which will lead us to filling out the first worksheet. We'll then look at exploring your interests, which will be the second worksheet. We'll then focus on actually matching the skills that we've inventoried with the interests that we have. Based on the skills and interests that we've set, we will then set personal development goals. As always, if you want important updates specifically regarding this course, make sure to sign up to my newsletter where I drop emails every single week. You can find it at saljaffer.com. And for exclusive content, make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter, or all of them. Make sure, of course, to share the course. Let's start building businesses and changing people's lives together. As always, make sure to understand that this is the most important video at this point in time in the entire course. So watch the entire video. Don't skip anything and don't fast forward. And a pro tip for you to save some time, if you want, watch the video in 2x speed. So without further ado, let's get into the first part of this presentation, which is the introduction to the skills and interests assessment. The foundation of business choice. In order to actually pick the business that will align with our strengths and passions, we need to understand that your skills and interests are crucial as it forms the foundation for choosing a business that aligns with your strengths and passions. We don't want to just choose the first business that we scroll across on TikTok or Instagram and see, people saying fastest way to get to 10K a month or anything like that, right? We want to understand what our skills are based on all the experience that we had so far, all the 9-to-5s that we've worked, what we've done at university, side hustles, everything that we've done, right? We also want to understand what interests us. In the previous video, we focused on discovering our why, right? So we want to make sure that it also aligns with personal fulfillment. We want to engage in a business that taps into your interests to ensure greater personal satisfaction and motivation, which is crucial for long-term success. As I've mentioned to you previously, we are not in the business of trying to find a business that's going to make us money as quickly as possible. We want to build businesses that align with who we are as individuals to become the best versions of ourselves, but we're also in this for the long haul, right? We're not here to just make cash overnight. We are here to build a legacy over the long term. We then want to look at leveraging strengths, which is basically identifying your skills. Identifying your skills helps in leveraging them to create unique offerings, giving you a competitive advantage in the marketplace. We want to look at the skills that we have, and then we want to take our strengths and leverage them to create unique offerings. It's not about just going into a business model that we think looks really shiny and cool, but we have zero skills that can complement this. Our interests don't align with this. So then it's, we have to be realistic and we have to understand, if you've spent your life working in sales and you've been doing, a lot of sales and you're really good at it and you enjoy sales, then there's no point of you, if you enjoy face-to-face, you enjoy interacting with people, it's not exactly like going and starting an e-commerce business is going to be the thing that will be the perfect fit for you. Of course, unless your interests also align with it and you've got some technical background, but the idea is to leverage the strengths, right? We want to take our skills and leverage them in order to find the right business for us, as well as have a competitive advantage in the marketplace. Like I've said, you do have skills. You have a unique value offering that you can provide to the marketplace. At the end of the day, if you choose a business that aligns with your skill set, it becomes much easier to build, to make money, to impact positively, and create a business for the long run. Efficient learning and development. Knowing your current skills and interests will guide focused learning and development efforts, avoiding wasted time on irrelevant areas. Like I mentioned before, the reason that we are focusing in this video, in this chapter, on understanding our skills and interests is to give us a more structured approach when choosing the business that will be right for us, right? We're not just choosing any business for the sake of it. We want to ensure that it aligns with who we are as an individual. We need to be realistic and understand that you don't want to just start a business and start before square one, right? You want to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. You want to be able to build blocks, but you want to have a solid foundation already. Like I've said, up till today in your life, you have acquired skills, you have interests. You want to make sure that you align with them and not just go complete 180 and do something completely different, right? And finally, goal alignment. Aligning your business goals with your personal skills and interests facilitates a more integrated and fulfilling professional life. At the end of this week number 1, we're going to set goals, right? The goals that we're going to set are going to be realistic, they're going to be ambitious, but they're going to align with our personal development, they're going to align with the business that we choose, they're going to align with our why and our purpose, right? The idea is that the personal skills and interests that we have will align with the business goals that we set in order to ensure a fulfilling professional life and making money, right? We want best of both worlds. We want to make money and we want to have fulfillment in our lives. That is the true secret to longevity. And so in the next chapter, we're going to talk about inventorying your skills. Comprehensive skill listing. We're going to begin by cataloging all your skills. This includes professional skills from past jobs, technical skills from education or self-learning, and even unique skills from your hobbies. Like I've said, if you're sitting there and you think, oh, I don't have any skills, like I have to start all from the beginning, leveraging the internet. It's not true at all. It's not true, I'm telling you. If you really, really dig deep, and that's what we're going to do in the worksheet to come, we're going to dig deep and we're going to realize, oh man, I've actually got a lot of skills. If you've worked in the corporate world, chances are you've learned how to deal with clients, you've learned how to work on spreadsheets, you've learned how to manage staff. There are skills that you have that you may not even realize. Even if, for example, you enjoy horse riding, you've learned balance, you've learned discipline, you've learned patience, you've learned endurance. If you're somebody who plays sports and you play football, you've learned how to build stamina, you've learned how to fight hard, you've learned how to be physical. These are all skills that are important and they can be applicable to business as well. We're going to focus on highlighting soft skills. So soft skills such as communication, leadership, and adaptability are crucial. They play a significant role in managing a business and dealing with clients and teams. We all have soft skills because soft skills also come just from day-to-day dealings with our family members, with our friends, when we go out and hang out with people, when we're at home talking to people. All these things are soft skills. If you're somebody who's in charge of taking care of your home, you have leadership skills. If you're somebody who's maybe moved houses a lot, you've changed countries, you've changed jobs, you've done all these sorts of things, you have the skill of adaptability, right? So at the end of the day, you do have soft skills, and it's really important to understand what these are. We don't really think about some of these skills that we're subconsciously acquiring on a day-to-day basis because of the fact that we're always on autopilot, especially when we're working these crazy 9-to-5s and we've been doing it our whole life. We're not always truly thinking deeply and, reflecting and understanding who we are as individuals. We're then going to also look at the relevance of hobbies when it comes to inventorying your skills, and we're going to evaluate how your hobbies might offer relevant skills for a business. For example, a hobby in crafting could translate into a business selling handmade products, right? For example, if you enjoy baking cakes, then you've probably learned how to market on Instagram in order to promote the cakes that you bake, so you have some digital marketing skills. So there are different hobbies. For me, for example, I like to play football and I'm quite loud and assertive when I'm on the pitch, which means that I would have developed the traits of leadership through shouting at people and telling them what to do when I'm on a football pitch. But it's important to be able to take the hobbies that we do and understand what skills that we've acquired from these hobbies. If you play video games, for example, maybe you have really good hand-eye coordination. You're able to stay patient when you're playing a game of Fortnite and you keep dying and you keep getting shot and you want to come back, and so you probably learn how to be patient, because sometimes I used to play a lot of Fortnite and it can be quite frustrating. And then we're going to organize skills by relevance. We're going to arrange our skills into categories that relate directly to running a business. These skills that we generate, that we look at when we highlight the soft skills, the skills that we look at, in the hobbies that we have on a day-to-day, we're going to take these and we're going to understand how they relate directly to running a business: technical, managerial, creative, and interpersonal, to see where your strengths lie and also understand where you might need some more development. At the end of the day, the best thing about entrepreneurship is there's always new skills you can learn. You can always develop. The idea is, like I've said to you so many times, this course is just the beginning. This is just the start of your journey. What's to come is going to be amazing, and we're going to keep growing and growing and growing and leveling up. Right now we're at entry level. We're just getting in. We're just getting started. And then the next level, once, you know, you make your first 10K a month and you quit your 9 to 5 and you start your business. And then, you know, you're going to be aiming for the millions, and then, you know, the hundreds of millions, and then the millions, you know, and that's just financial examples. You know, maybe you want to run an organization with 5 people, and then you want to run an organization with 10 people and 50 people, you know. And so it's all about understanding where our strengths lie and then how we can develop these skills in order to continue this journey of entrepreneurship. So what I want you guys to do now is I want you to do the inventory your skills worksheet that I've developed for you guys. And so I'm going to show you it in a little bit more detail. Again, you can find it below the video. So let's just get into that. So you can find it here. So again, the video will come once I finish recording it. So you're going to want to open up the inventory your skills again, as normal. You know, you're going to make a copy so that you can actually then use the worksheet yourself. But let's just get into the worksheet. So I'll show you guys exactly what it's about. So you're going to utilize this worksheet to gain valuable insights into your skills in order to gain an understanding in how to identify and categorize your own ability effectively in order to gain an understanding of what business model would be ideal for you. Now, you may sit there and think, hey, I already know what my skills are, I already know what my interests are. I still really recommend you do this. Again, it's going to come really in handy down the line when we are picking our business model. But whether you want to type it or write it up, it's up to you. You know, if you want to print it out, you know, feel free to print it out and write down the answers to this if you want to type it out. But it's important to fill this worksheet because just having it on paper and having your skills and interests in front of you for you to look at becomes much easier to visualize and then use accordingly. And you'll also surprise yourself when you actually sit there and deeply think about these questions, because you might realize and learn some things about you that you didn't even know existed just by going through this worksheet, which has been crafted specifically in that way. So I'm just going to quickly run through this worksheet with you to show you how I want you to answer it to understand what your skills and interests are. I don't want you to copy my answers. I want you to come up with your own answers because your skills and interests may not be the same as mine. You know, I'd like to think that one of the really cool things about you watching this video right now is that we align in terms of values. You know, we want to build amazing businesses. We want to achieve fulfillment, but the journey to get there, your journey is going to be different to my journey, right? And so let's just, I've provided some model answers, as you can see. I'll read through the questions with you guys, and then I want you to, of course, fill them out. You can also use ChatGPT to help you structure your answers, you know, but I don't want you to go into ChatGPT and just be like, hey, I work a job as a pharmacist. Tell me what my skills are. No, the idea is to sort of help you open your mind up if you have a little bit of a creative block. My advice would be to answer these questions without using ChatGPT. But if you're going to use it, the way you're going to do it is going to be, I will show you. So if we go into ChatGPT, while it loads up, I'm just going to give you an example of the first question, right? So what skills have you gained from your previous jobs or education? Include technical skills like programming or accounting, and industry-specific skills like project management in construction or digital marketing. So the way that we could do this in order to help us is as follows. I don't know how to move this so I can get it. Let's close this. Cool. I am currently filling out a worksheet designed to help me understand my skills and interests better. I currently work as a pharmacist, and I want you to help me identify the skills that I have acquired. Before I was a pharmacist, I worked a part-time job as a teaching assistant. Please give me a short, concise answer in simple English in one bullet point sentence to what my skills are. Just for example, right? Like I said, you're going to use this as inspiration if you want a little bit of help, so you possess strong analytical, communication, educational skills. Again, my advice is to, you know, go and do it yourself, but I just wanted to show you an example of how you could use ChatGPT to just open your mind up a bit. And then you can be like, oh yeah, I actually do have these, maybe not, you know, so like, you know, okay, so just as an example, right? But anyway, so what skills have you gained from your previous jobs or educations? We already went through that. So for example, at my last job, I developed strong management skills and learned advanced Excel techniques. Second question would be, what soft skills do you possess that help you in daily interactions and tasks? So think about skills such as communication, teamwork, problem solving, or leadership. For example, I am good at resolving conflicts and motivating team members, which enhances overall team productivity, right? So in this question, it's about, what your jobs have been, like you can use ChatGPT, for example, to gain that sort of structure, and then you can use it to build you a guideline. But I don't want you to just copy the answers from it as well, copy paste, because there may be skills that it'll provide you that is a stereotypical for like the standard norm. Yours will be a little bit more tailored, right? So really think about this, take some time, properly go through the question. So I went through the second question. The third question, what skills have you developed from your hobbies or interests that could be useful in a business? Consider how hobbies like photography, gardening, or gaming have taught you valuable skills that could be applicable in a business setting. So for example, through photography, I've honed my eye for detail and developed patience, which are valuable for quality control and production. For example, in gaming, I played shooting games that gave me good hand-eye coordination. It taught me good strategic skills, which in business could help me come up with strategic plans and also be patient when dealing with frustrating situations or going through obstacles, right? It's all about how you perceive things. If you look at gaming and just think, all my gaming was just a waste of time, which like a lot of it, I won't even lie, it's like I could have spent a lot of time doing more productive things, but I can still, if I can look at it in a positive way, you can't change the past. What's done is done. So look at everything that you've done in your life and understand what skills that you have acquired when you really look deep when answering that question. Question number 4, can you categorize your skills into technical, managerial, creative, and interpersonal? And the idea for this is to visualize where your strengths are concentrated and how they might fit into different business areas. So for example, technical skills, web development, managerial, team leadership, creative, graphic design, interpersonal, customer service, right? So you're going to take the answers that you've got here and then you're going to categorize your skills. So you then start to slowly, do you see what you're doing there? You're slowly starting to start at a foundation of maybe thinking, I have no skills. And then you realize, oh, hey, I have skills. And then you take your skills and you realize, oh, wow, I even have skills from some of the hobbies and interests I do. And then you're categorizing those skills and you're now starting to slowly build this sort of visual template in front of you of the skills that you have and how they contextually would fit in a business setting. And suddenly you're getting to a point where you're like, oh, hey, like Sal was right. Like I can start my own business. Like I already have the skills, like if you're somebody who's working a 9 to 5 and you currently think, oh, I don't have any skills. Well, look at this sheet in front of you. Like, yes, you do have skills. It's very obvious, right? And like I said, then we're going to take the skills that we've broken down here and how could each of these skills be applied in a business setting? And so what I want you to do there is think about how your specific skills can directly contribute to the operational growth of a business. So for example, my web development skills can be used to create an online store, and my leadership abilities would be crucial in managing a small team. So we've gone from number 1, which is identifying what our skills are, and then we've taken these skills, we've slowly built, where when we answer the final question, we're already starting to maybe get a subconscious understanding of, hang on, this business model, I'm already starting to identify where my skills would actually fit really well with this, right? You have all the pieces of your puzzle deep within your brain. You just have to unlock it and bring it out. And that's what the purpose of this worksheet is to build out the skills so that you can slowly start to understand where your skills already are. So you know where you need to improve. And we're slowly starting to also subconsciously realize when we come to the topic of picking our business, which I don't want to go into now because we'll talk about that later. But what we're starting to realize is, hey, I now know what skills I have, which will make it super easy for me to pick the business for me. And then once I've got my skills, I've got my why, I've got my business, now setting goals are going to be really easy. Hey, I've built everything to get started. Now I can just go ahead and take action with a streamlined approach. Boom. Really simple when you break it down, right? But that's basically just the first. Let me exit full screen. Maybe it's already exited. Cool. So that's the first worksheet. I want you to do that worksheet. Once you have finished that worksheet, we will go on to the next video. So if you haven't already, pause this video, go ahead and fill out your inventory and your skills worksheet. Spend time on it, think properly. It is so important. I can't emphasize this enough, like how important this is. Like I said, I've broken down how it's going to help things going forward. So with that being said, let's go on to the next part of the presentation, which is exploring your interests. Identify passions. Reflect on what activities or topics ignite your enthusiasm and make you feel most alive. These are often areas you are naturally passionate about. We've already looked at the skills that we've developed from our hobbies, which will already give us an indirect sort of idea of where our interests lie, right? And so think about the activities that you do. Think about when you're having a conversation with a friend, you know, for example, me, when I talk to my dad about politics, that makes me really excited, you know. So I'm excited about politics. I'm excited about when people talk to me about their problems of why they can't leave their job, or you know, I get excited. I get really excited sort of brainstorming topics about the power of the subconscious and, you know, how perception is reality, and like these things excite me, you know. And so my passion is coaching. My passion is talking about politics. I enjoy football, you know. So don't even worry too much at this point in time about thinking, oh, like, how's it related to business? Just let's keep it simple. Let's keep it easy. We all have passions. So let's identify what they are. Daily activities review. Consider the parts of your daily routine that you look forward to. These can hint at underlying interests that are both fulfilling and engaging. I want you to think about how your day-to-day is structured right now, and I want you to ask yourself which part of your day you enjoy the most. So for me, for example, one of my most favorite parts of the day is when I log into my community and, you know, I plan the next call, I plan a presentation, or, you know, I enjoy going on Twitter and seeing what's going on there. You know, I enjoy when I have to record my TikTok videos to promote my product, right, and to promote my community. You know, these are little things that I find engaging. I love going to play football every Monday and Friday with the people that I play with. Like it makes me fulfilled, engaged, because I'm getting a workout, I'm staying healthy, and I'm having a good time, you know. So just think about it, and you'll understand down the line. Like right now, I'm just getting you guys to think about these things, and we're going to obviously put it into action with the next worksheet that is around this. Engagement levels. Assess which activities you find so engaging that you lose track of time while doing them. This flow state is a strong indicator of genuine interest. So for example, like we're 22 minutes inside this presentation, it only feels like 5 minutes, honestly. Like I talk a lot, but I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying presenting this to you. I'm enjoying building this presentation and just speaking, you know. To be honest, like the building the presentation bit's a little bit like it takes me longer, but this bit, like I can talk for days, you know, because I'm passionate about this. And so, you know, just talking about what I'm passionate about, talking about quitting your 9 to 5 is something that puts me in this flow state, you know. And so you need to assess which activities you find engaging where you lose track of time. And then future exploration. Think about topics or sectors you are curious about and would like to explore further. Identifying these can guide your next steps in learning and business exploration. So this is something where you need to think about maybe things that you already know, maybe things you don't know so much about, but you would be curious to learn more about, right? So for example, maybe, you know, you work in a sales job and, you know, you do sales and you enjoy doing sales, but, you know, you want more and you want to start your own remote sales closer company, and you know, you want to hire sales reps, and then you want to find clients and you want to close deals for them, you know. Maybe that's something you're interested and curious about. You know, maybe you're curious about the business element of building a sales business, and so you can identify that and it will help you in your next steps. So without further ado, I've basically broken down to you guys the main things in exploring your interests and what you right now will be thinking about. And so let's go straight into this worksheet. Again, you can find it in the underneath this video. And so I will show you. So we've done the inventorying your skills. So we'll open up to explore your worksheet. Again, if you want to make a copy and do it online, feel free. If you want to print it out and write, and you know, you enjoy writing these things more, you can do it however you wish, whatever is best for you. Just put the time, you know, don't rush through this, you know. Success will not happen overnight. So enjoy the process, enjoy getting to know yourself a little bit more, because that's what we're doing right now at this point in the journey. And I promise you, if you do this part properly, if you do what I'm telling you properly, when you choose your business, when you get started, you're going to be 100 times more prepared than 99% of people who just go into something because Andrew Tate told them online that this is the best way to make 100K, you know. Cool. So we're going to utilize this worksheet to gain valuable insights into your interests and in order to have a structured approach to recognize what you're truly passionate about and how these interests might influence your future business decisions. The previous worksheet was all about the skills that you have. Now we're going to find the things that you enjoy. Like Alex Hormozy says, you should do what you're passionate about, because that way it won't feel like work. It will feel like fun. What I'm doing right now, this is fun. Like, I'm loving it. I've never had so much fun in a business before. Again, if you want, use ChatGPT to help you structure your answers. I'd rather you not. It's just obviously if you're a little bit stuck, you can use it as a guideline. But let's just go through the questions that you need to answer. So number one, what activities or topics make you feel excited and energized? And so in brackets again, I give you the reasons for why I asked this question so you understand how to start approaching and framing this. But essentially, think about times when you feel most enthusiastic and driven. These are clues to your underlying passions. For example, this is not my example, this is just a random example, but I feel energized when I discuss renewable energy and sustainable initiatives. Don't overthink it. Don't think, how is this going to impact the business? Let's just focus on baby steps, right? Like one step at a time. I just want you to think, what makes me feel excited? When I do this specific thing, what makes me excited? For example, me, when someone books an onboarding call in with me inside the community, that makes me excited. I get on a call and I hear their problems and I hear the situation and I'm excited to talk to you. I love it. Like, that gets me energized, So I would write down, I feel energized when somebody comes and asks me for advice about quitting their 9 to 5. Awesome. Number 2, which part of your day-to-day do you most look forward to? The idea of this is to observe which activities you eagerly anticipate each day, because this can reveal key interests about yourself. Like I mentioned in the presentation a little bit earlier, I look forward to playing football. Every day I look forward to posting my TikTok. Like, for me, it's exciting seeing the analytics, like how many views I get, like, am I going to go viral? Can I go viral? What do I need to tweak? Like, what do I need to change? Like, I like these little analytical things. And I know it directly positively impacts, because if a tweet goes viral or a tweet or a TikTok goes viral, more people join the community and find out about us, right? Third question, during which activities do you find yourself completely absorbed, losing track of time? Activities that engross you so fully that you forget about time are often those that you're deeply, deeply interested in. And then finally, what are some topics or sectors you have always wanted to explore more about? Identifying areas you're curious about can guide your future learning and potential business avenues. Like I said, it's not a case of the skills and interests that you start to understand about yourself are going to be the only deciding factor for what business you choose, right? At the end of the day, the exciting thing about entrepreneurship is when you start this business, there is always learning. There is always somebody who is doing more than you. There is always somebody who is making more than you. When you get to that next level, there's someone who's even higher than you. When you get to the next level, there's always another level, and you should always have this innate desire to constantly keep learning and developing and becoming a better version of yourself. Because if you think you're perfect, you got problems. So for example, I've always been curious about digital marketing and the different strategies used in e-commerce, This one where we look at topics or sectors you wanted to explore more about, we can go a little bit more nuanced and be a little bit more specific and maybe tailor it towards maybe businesses, just off the top of your head, right? So like, for example, if you're a physicist right now who's working a 9 to 5 and you're getting paid hardly anything, but I've always been, curious about how I could run my own business whilst, providing the craft that I'm professionally able to provide, right? Something like that. So what I want you to do again at this point is I want you to pause the video. I want you to fill out the worksheet like I have mentioned. I want you to put effort and time into it. I want you to do it properly. And then once you've done it, you can press play and come back to the rest of the video. So now we've filled out our skills worksheet. We've inventoried our skills. They're written down. We've also now started to get an understanding of what interests us. We're getting an idea of what we're passionate about, what excites us on a day-to-day basis. So we're sort of starting to align these things. One thing I want to emphasize, right, and I don't want to be a dampener or anything, but you have to remember, you're not going to enjoy everything that you do in business, right? The true skill to master is doing the things that you hate doing. But the core of your business, the core fundamental idea is to do something that you are passionate about. That doesn't mean there won't be tasks that are tough, but if you frame it around what makes you feel good, what aligns with who you already are as an individual, if you leverage the strengths that you currently have, those things that suck to do will be a little bit less sucky to do, right? And overall, you know that you're doing those things that are harder for a good reason. And so moving on, we're now going to go into matching the skills with the interests. And so first of all, mapping skills to interests. We want to identify where your key skills directly complement your interest. This alignment is crucial for ensuring both personal and professional satisfaction and effectiveness. So the idea here is we've got our sheet of skills, we've got our sheet of interests, we want to get them to align. We want to find where the overlap is. Once we start to find where the because here's the thing, not every skill is going to be relevant to the business that you choose. Not every interest is going to be relevant to the business you choose, right? Like for example, I have bunnies in my house. If I like to play with my bunnies and feed them food, I can't turn that into a business, right? Like I have to be realistic. We've written down our interests in order to help us, but at the end of the day, we also have to be realistic and see where we can find overlap, because that's going to help us start to sort of find the business when we choose it. We then want to assess potential for engagement, which is evaluating how combining your skills and interests can lead to activities that you are not only good at, but also genuinely enjoy in order to enhance motivation and resilience. We then want to explore synergies. This is very crucial, okay? Consider how your skills can enhance your interests. Consider how your interests can enhance your skills. For example, technical skills in web design coupled with a passion for art can enhance an online art business, right? If you enjoy art, you love being an artistic person, you love designing things, and you've already, worked at a company where you've had to build websites and you've done some web design and you've built landing pages, then you already know that you have the fundamentals to start an online art store, and you're going to enjoy it because you love art, right? So like that's a really cool way of just understanding how to actually explore the synergies and combine the two. And then we're going to simplify choices. So use the energy between your skills and interests to narrow down the fields or areas you might excel in, making future decisions about business directions clearer and more focused, right? So for example, one of the skills that, in the most humble way possible that I like to think I have is I like talking. I like talking to people. I like motivating people. I like to help other people, right? I feel like one of my skills is public speaking. And one of my interests is changing lives for the better, right? Like I am passionate about recording content that will allow you to live a better life and be a better version of yourself. And so by being able to be a public speaker and being able to talk concisely and motivating, and knowing that I want to help other people quit their 9-to-5s, I can combine the two by creating this course where I record a video talking to you, which I'm good at, and I'm, doing something that I'm interested in. So I'm combining the two, I'm using my synergy, and it becomes a really simple idea. Like it's a no-brainer. Like why on earth would I not build this, And so now that we're at a point where we've sort of matched our skills with interests, we've looked at the overlap, we've looked at the two worksheets and sort of analyzed where the overlap is, where we can sort of combine things together. We're now going to set personal development goals. If at this point you feel like there's no overlap, that's also okay, right? Because the way we're going to set goals will sort of simplify things. And like I said, we're still very much at the foundation stage. We're still just building the foundations and working our way up. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't think you have to find the perfect match. You don't have to find the business model right now. If you think, oh my God, like I combine things and I just can't find a business, it's okay. Don't worry. Like we're still in the early days. We still have a lot to cover. This is only video number 3, right? Lots to come. So now we're going to set personal development goals. So we want to identify skill gaps. We want to highlight gaps between your current skills and those needed for your potential business interests, focusing on areas for immediate improvement. We want to look at the skills that we have, that we've now looked at, that we know are relevant for the potential business interests that we have. And now we want to focus on the areas for immediate improvement, right? The whole concept of setting personal development goals is to level up, is to diversify our skill sets, to become a better version of ourselves, is to sharpen our tools and acquire new tools. What we're going to do is we're going to set initial development goals. We want to establish clear, achievable goals, focusing on enhancing specific skills that you can immediately start working on. We want to understand exactly how we're going to develop ourselves, what actionable things that we're going to develop so that we can start straight away. We're going to start building our skills from now, because even if you don't have a business model that you've picked right as of now, which you don't have to because we cover it down the line, we want to start still developing ourselves, right? We want to become better versions of ourselves, and based on what we've already started to learn, based on the synergies that we figured out with our skills and interests, We want to set the goals, right? We want to understand where the gaps are. Because now we're interested in something, we have the skills. So there's going to be some gaps in that overlap where we realize, oh, hang on, I'm interested in starting an online art business. I enjoy art. I'm passionate about web design, but I know nothing about marketing. I don't know how to post engaging content. So now we can learn, okay, let's master the skill of posting content on social media, for example, right? We're going to prioritize this, like I just said, based on interest. We give priority to developing skills that align closely with your interest to maintain engagement and motivation during the learning process. Like I said, we're going to look at where the overlap is. We're going to look at where the gap in the skills are with that combined synergy. And that's what we're going to focus on. And we're going to keep it easy. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Like I said, Rome wasn't built overnight. It's like the perfect example is if you're currently making $0 doing online business, to say, I'm going to make $100,000 is not realistic, right? If you're at zero, first you want to make 100. If you have 0 followers on Instagram, first you want to achieve 100 followers. Then you want to get to 1,000 followers. Then you want to get to 100,000 followers. Then you want to get to 1 million, right? You want to take realistic small steps. We want to encourage starting with manageable, straightforward tasks that build the foundations, fostering that sense of accomplishment, celebrating the milestones that we're leveling, and eventually paving the way for more complex challenges. Yes, getting 1 million followers is harder than getting 10 followers. But if we get 10 followers, we have the proof of concept, which means we know we can keep building on it. And so don't worry, I'm not going to make you just go away and now have to figure it all out yourself. I've also built a personal development goals worksheet, which is where we're now going to set our personal development goals based on the skills that we have, the interests that we have, the overlap between the two, the synergies, and we're going to build this worksheet. So let's go into the worksheet. Again, you can find it just below here. Yeah, here, personal development worksheet, sweet. All right, let's get into the personal development worksheet. Let me just have a quick sip of water. Cool. So we're going to utilize this worksheet to help you set up a personal development plan in order to take actionable steps based on your skills and interests. Again, this is a point where if you want to use ChatGPT to help give you those personal development goals, you can do so, but use the framework of the questions I've set because this is what's going to help. You've already built your skills, you have your skills sheet, you have your interest sheet. So now we're going to take these two sheets, we're going to put them together to make this worksheet right here. And so, question number 1, what skills are you lacking that are necessary for the area you're interested in? We're going to review our skills inventory sheet. We're going to review our interests. We're going to look at where the alignment is to pinpoint where enhances are needed. So like I said earlier with the art example, I enjoy art. I'm good at web design. I need to improve marketing. I need to understand how to generate traffic, right? Or in this example, I need to improve my knowledge of e-commerce platforms to start my online store. What specific achievable goals can you set to begin addressing these skill gaps? Define clear, measurable objectives that can be accomplished in the short term. I will complete an introductory course on Shopify within the next 3 months. Within the next month, sorry, yeah. We want to make it quicker. We don't want to waste too much time, right? So we know we want to improve our knowledge of e-commerce platforms. So now we're going to do a basic course on Shopify. There's so many free courses out there. Again, I'm not telling you to go out there and pay for a course at this point. It's very early days. Go and find a free online intro course to do. And I'll add some, I'm speaking to some people, and if I haven't at this point yet, I'm going to be adding some courses inside the community for different business models to help you guys out from people in those industries as well. So that's something to look forward to. Shameless little plug there on the side for Limitless Potential. Question number 3, which of these skills align most closely with your interests? Sorting your learning goals based on personal interests can help maintain motivation, right? Like I said in the presentation a little bit earlier, was we want to prioritize our interests and align that with the skills in order to maximize our motivation levels and fulfillment levels. So I'm really interested in graphic design, so I'll start by learning basic design principles through free online tutorials, right? So I'm interested in graphic design. I already have a I have a passion in art, I'm good at web design, but now I'm going to learn basic design principles through online tutorials. And then the final question, what small steps can you what small steps can you take immediately to start developing these skills? You can identify initial manageable actions that can lead to early wins in your skills development, right? So now we're going to actually set actionable steps, because yeah, we can set goals and we can have all these things, and we've got our interests and we know where we want to develop our self personally, but we're going to be actionable, right? Which means we have to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound, right? So I will set aside 30 minutes each day to watch design tutorials and practice with free software. So now you have an actionable, implementable goal where you're going to block out 30 minutes every single day to enhance this skill that you are focused on developing. So I want you to fill out this worksheet based on what you did, based on what I've mentioned, based on the skills and interest sheet, and set yourself some personal development goals. Like, let me clarify, right? I'm not telling you to set your business goals yet. It's going to come way later down the line. Not even way later, but towards the end of week 1, right? First, I want you to focus on setting these personal development goals. And I'm telling you, this is really, really useful, because what you're doing now is you're building a foundation in terms of who you are as an individual from a skills perspective, understanding what makes you tick, understanding how you can develop who you are as an individual. So when you choose that business, it's going to be way easier to pick the right business based on it aligning with these things that you're learning in this video, which will then allow you to set your proper realistic goals that align with personal and professional. And so do this worksheet, take your time, do it properly, pause the video, and then when you're done, we can get into the next part. So to summarize, let's go through what we've discussed in this video. We began by identifying the specific skills you need to develop or enhance based on your current abilities and the requirements of the business that you're interested in. So we've inventoried our skills, right? We then set clear, achievable goals for your personal development, emphasizing the importance of measurable and timely objectives to track your progress effectively. We prioritize skill development based on your interest to ensure that the learning process is engaging and aligned with what you are passionate about. And then we outline manageable steps to begin immediately, focusing on small, straightforward tasks that build foundational skills and lead to quick wins. Continuous improvement, right? I want to touch a little bit on this. Although detailed goal revision and settings are covered later on, which we will talk about, starting with these foundational steps prepares you for a continuous improvement mindset in your personal and professional development. I don't want us to just wait around and, the reason I put the worksheet so early in this program is because I don't want you to just sit here and just consume the content that I'm providing you just for the sake of it. Yes, I want you to listen to what I'm saying, but I also want you to implement it. I want you to start understanding from now that you don't need a business to start improving yourself as an individual, right? You don't need a business to understand what you're interested in, what your skills are, and in order to understand what your personal development goals are. You can do that from now, right? So I just want you to understand that we're starting this, and the reason that we're starting to set personal development goals from now is in order to put ourselves and subconsciously reframe our mindset to understand that before we've even picked the business model, we're already in this mindset of just becoming a better individual, leveling up, improving yourself, broadening your skill sets in order to help you personally and professionally. It's like I said to you, the mission statement is to quit your 9-to-5 to start your first online business, but also to attain financial freedom, to find your purpose and find fulfillment in your life. We're focusing on becoming the best version of ourselves every single day. And before we end, I love this quote. And Steve Jobs basically says, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. I'm not even going to go into detail on breaking that down because I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and it is why I put this module so early before picking the business and before setting the business goals. If you understand your interests, if you understand your skills, if you understand what you love, then you're already set. And so let's unlock our potential. Let's build businesses. Let's level up. Let's become the best versions of ourselves. And I will see you all in the next video.